Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Historical Gamer once again, and today I'm returning for part 3 of my Civil War Generals 2 Battle of Shiloh. This is the third part of the Battle of Shiloh. This was part of a live stream, so the audio may not be the greatest of quality because I'm really just ripping this from the live stream and kind of releasing it in case you missed it. I'm thinking this is going to be the second to last part of the Battle of Shiloh. There will be another half hour after this. I may talk more about history in part 4 of the series, just because there's really not going to be a ton going on in terms of my audio from the live stream. I was pretty bare bones there. But this is just going to be stripped straight from the live stream, so it may not be the most audio intensive one, because remember, I was playing and streaming and recording all at the same time. I will also note, happy Labor Day, everybody, if you're in the United States. Today is Labor Day, and I will also mention that the part 2 of my new project with the Strategy Wargamer, the Single Malt Strategy podcast, will have its second episode up a week from today. So episode 1 is live. We are on iTunes. You just search Single Malt Strategy. You can see episode 1 on the channel, but if you want to get updates as new episodes come out, you can follow us there as well. So far, the responses have been mostly positive, some audio commentary. That's something we'll try and work out. But episode 2 a week from today. And in the meantime, let's get right back into Civil War Generals 2 and pick up where we left off. It is the morning, the very beginning of the second day of the battle, with our reinforcements now on the field. Hey Gatsby, I'll be starting up in a minute. I'm just kind of looking over the battlefield and giving people some time to show up if they're going to. Man, I'd be a lot better off if I had withdrawn further north, because I'd have all these troops in my front line already. As it is, we're still a ways away from having those guys to support us. Longhorn, the game is very nostalgic. I played this when it first came out. I was like 10 or 12 or something like that. It's one of the first war games I really got into, and it may to this day, it still may be the game I've played more than anything else. If it's not, it's probably Panzer General 1 on the PlayStation 1. Both of those games are games from way back in, kind of my early teens. Gadsby, I'll probably go past just Shiloh. Shiloh, I don't imagine Shiloh is going to take an entire second day. We'll see. My hope is to swing around the rebel left. So the rebels are pretty strong here. We're just kind of examining their front. They've got quite a few strong brigades along this front here that are in pretty good shape and have pretty healthy firepower and some strong artillery support with them. But what they don't have, from what I can see anyway, is a strong left flank. Now, they could have some reserves in here somewhere, but if not, they've got their weakest brigade and their weakest artillery right here on the left. And I've got some pretty... It's not my strongest, but I got some decently strong troops on my left. And what I would basically do is I would swing around and try and get in kind of their rear, and what I'd do is I would pinch off one of these units. I'd attack one, drive through, surround multiple units, and then reduce the pocket. Very, very much blitzkrieg style, just kind of reducing the pocket and slowly and methodically destroying them while holding the line elsewhere, depending on if the enemy starts to withdraw or not. So long story short, I don't think that will take too long. So I do plan to stream more than just Shiloh. Alright, I'm going to start the stream here in just a second. I'm starting a few minutes early, but oh well. Actually, while I'm getting ready to start, I went down to my basement and pulled out an old CD tray I have, and I'm looking at Sid Meier's Gettysburg, Sid Meier's Antietam, the original Close Combat: A Bridge Too Far, the original Combat Mission, Austerlitz, Napoleon's Greatest Victory, the original Rome, Total War. Got a lot of old classics here that I could spend some time playing through if this is something that people are interested in. I've also got Hearts of Iron 2, actually, on disc. I never really played that much, but I picked it up at a half-price books. So, anyway, I'm going to be starting in about 10 seconds, guys. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today I'm going to be playing some more Civil War Generals 2. This is a continuation of a live stream from earlier today, which I played the first day of the Battle of Shiloh. I'm now playing the second day of the Battle of Shiloh. It's 6 in the morning. There's been some skirmishing. We forced one rebel brigade to surrender up here. The first day we held pretty strong. We fell back to the Peach Orchard and the Hornet's Nest, those historical bastions for Union defenses, and we dug in on those well-defended territories. The rebels had a lot of trouble trying to evict us from our positions. If we take a look at the casualty reports thus far in the battle, we had about 3,600. The Confederates that are about 4,900, as well as 2,100 surrendered. I expect that surrendered total to go up quite a bit as we end up fighting through. But you can see we are dominating the victory points, controlled hexes, and also weapons and supply capture. That's because we've mainly been on the defensive and the rebels have been attacking us through very difficult terrain. They did seriously threaten us a few times in our center, but on the left and on the right, things were pretty secure and safe the entire time. Okay, so what we're going to start off with, we've already kind of acted on the left with most of our troops over there. So we do need to do some artillery bombardment, I think. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm hoping to maybe drive back Jackson's brigade and kind of envelop these three guys over here. So I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to focus my artillery on Stuart's brigade because he's probably the biggest threat to breaking our line. It's a little bit thin there. We don't have our best brigades there, and I think it makes the most sense to try and drive him back. Doesn't look like we can hit him with everyone, so we'll just kind of focus on flank guard. Okay. So that does it for all of our artillery. Meanwhile, up north, we allowed these guys to rest. So I think we've pretty much done everything we can do with the units I want to move this turn. I will dig these guys in. Just kind of trying to see where we're at right now with these troops over here. They're all in pretty good shape, especially on our right. We do have some troops that didn't get all the way healed up. For the most part, the knight was very good in getting our troops rested and relaxed. The rebels also are in pretty good shape as we look at across the scene. This brigade just got hit by a heavy artillery, but the rest of the rebels are in pretty good shape, with the exception of their left, which is almost up in the air unless they've got some serious defenders back here. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, I always kind of kept my games in CD cases, so I always, not CD cases, but kind of like a little leather binder, and I always kind of just kept an eye on them. I'd like to think I treated them somewhat well. I still have Age of Sail 2 as well. Okay, so there are some other rebel troops here off to the left, so who knows where the other forces are. And there's another brigade that just randomly showed up here. Meanwhile, I am going to let these guys rest one more turn. They are not in the best of shape after marching all night. Maybe I should have just let them sleep in the first place, but, you know, it is what it is. We will move the artillery down. And I think we'll move these guys also, because they haven't had as far to march. We can kind of get all our troops in one concentrated blob and move them all simultaneously. So so that we can have Buell's army all show up in force concentrated. So we're going to kind of stay on the defensive for the meantime, given that the rebels have shown up with some additional forces that I didn't know they had. These guys rest. Some of these guys aren't getting supply, but they have enough already, so it doesn't really matter.
At ease, man. At ease, man.
See if any artillery can hit these guys. Okay, so we didn't hit the unit we wanted, but we still did some damage. Alright, so we broke the enemy troops with artillery alone. We drove that brigade back. I don't want to send the entire enemy army back yet, though, so I'm not gonna attack all of them quite yet. Okay. Could drive them back with a charge. Oh, yep, there's some more rebel troops over here. Wondered what happened to Cleburne's guys. So we're going to split the rebel line here by charging through Cleburne with our cavalry. And we'll break the rebel line, drive Cleburne back, and start to hopefully isolate these guys. That may have actually been really stupid because they have some pretty strong troops over here. Eugh. Well, so much for the entire envelopment maneuver. I think what we'll do is we'll just flat out attack. It'll take a few turns to get everyone into position, however. I think these guys are still, yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the next turn. Okay. So again, even when the enemy does attack, even though we're not driving them from the field, they're still losing more men than we are, and we're holding the ground in almost every single attack. Although our cavalry is getting beat to shit by artillery. So it seems like only a part of the enemy engaged us yesterday, because now it feels like we're meeting some additional troops that we didn't see at all yesterday. There is a natural salient, which I think I'm going to go for. So again, we're hitting both these units. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and attack here. Well, no. We'll attack. Where's going to be the easiest? I'm not sure. Let's just see what happens if we attack here. And the general received a mortal wound. We didn't drive them from their position. Ooh, that's a bloody attack there. Defenders lost about on par with us. So we didn't drive them back, but certainly wasn't a total failure. Okay. Let's pull him back and move these guys forward. We'll shorten our line a little bit. Okay. Yep, I'm willing to pay that price. Okay. Man, this is starting out a lot bloodier than I had anticipated. You can see here 3 rebel corps, Polk, Hardy, and Bragg. We'll pull the cavalry back. Move Sherman in. We really need those reinforcements. But it doesn't do any good if they arrive unable to fight, either. What road? I'd say we want to send them down this road here to move in onto the flank. So we gave them some time to rest. Should have had them sleep and just march once the day came. My mistake. At least they're not going to be too strung out when they do arrive. Another brigade arrived. Okay. And then on the right, they've been attacking Tyndall, who's still in pretty good shape. But we're going to go ahead and just have McClarahan shatter their far right. Wow, that was a bloody attack. Wouldn't call it a repulse, but obviously we didn't drive him from back either. There we go. So now that we've moved on to the offensive, we're starting to take some pretty heavy losses too, and this battle is heating up, which is probably appropriate because what did Shiloh had, what, 30,000 casualties between the two sides, and we were only at like 7 through the first day, so we had some ground to make up if we're trying to recreate history here. Okay. Okay. That was about what I was hoping. We're threatening encirclement of this rebel brigade here. We'll see if they pull out next turn. They may. That would be the smart thing to do. Why are they leaving these artillery pieces without any infantry support? I mean, gladly I will attack an enemy without artillery support. We'll probably try and break through here and here next turn so we can threaten encirclement of these 2 or 3 brigades over there. We're going to keep these other guys put for a little bit. On the left, I will go ahead and attack. Another brigade, jeez. Well, at least they're not in good shape. Okay, so we're kind of trying to move in and around and encircle Anderson's brigade, which is very strong, actually. But my guess is they pull out before we can succeed in doing that. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep hitting this rebel unit that's kind of in a salient here. Several of their units are in more or less salients. Yeah, my flanking scheme seems to have failed. For the moment, I think we can still break them. We'll see. I would not say that hope is lost. We have quite a few reinforcements coming, so it may just be a delayed celebration, and we may end up fighting out the entire second day, unlike what I assumed. So this may resemble the actual battle more than I had originally assumed. I thought we were going to relatively easily push them back. But if that's not the case, that's fine. You know, the rebels can give a good fight. That's fine. No worries. We got plenty of men to spare. Okay. I wouldn't say it failed. I mean, it's not like they threw me back or anything. Yet, anyway. Some of these attacks are more successful today than they were yesterday for them. Kind of always nervous doing that. It's like, don't shoot your own men, please. Alright, this should do it. No? Damn. Pesky rebels. Okay, this should do it. There we go. Surrender ye rebels. Just a few more of those and the enemy morale will start to really come apart, and then things will start becoming much, much simpler for us. So we're looking to turn this more into a straight rout rather than an actual... I was hoping to bag the entire rebel army, but the way things have worked out, that looks less likely. Still, we are driving them pretty handsomely, I would say. So we're going to bring our artillery down on this flank. It may not be wise putting the artillery literally right in the front. We'll see. But all of our reserves are coming in on the left, so we are still gonna try that big left wing and sweep them from the field. We'll see what happens. It's gonna take a little bit of time. The forces coming on the field are strung out, so it will take a few turns to accomplish. But hopefully, just hopefully, we'll be successful. Now that Buell's whole army is on the field. Okay, I think that about does it for that turn. Those are still making life difficult. Okay. Alright. Change formation. Really? You can only see one hex in front of you? Move these artillery up here to the flank then. My goal is to rout them from the field, so we just routed that enemy artillery. And that's why I'm charging, because you can have a much bigger impact on enemy morale by charging them. So this left wing thing may still work out. Wallace's brigade's coming online. We'll swing the cavalry out wide. These guys need to rest. Cavalry will go out to the left. Infantry will kind of go down the center left. And hopefully overwhelm the enemy, as they're all marching past Grant here. his little headquarters post or whatever. Large clouds of dust being kicked up. Meanwhile, on the left, okay, so there's some pretty good... Man, the rebels have not been terribly aggressive in this battle, because there's some pretty strong pieces between us and them, really. Yes, they retreated right into my trap. Mount up, boys. Can't remember how I changed it. There we go. Oh no, undo that. You're gonna go in on foot then. Surrender. We drove that enemy unit right into our trap. And now we can't see any bad guys because they're all out of range.
No, sir. No, sir.
This will be on YouTube later, Bob. Yes. I don't put these instantly on YouTube the minute that the stream is done or anything like that, but I'll probably break it up into multiple parts and post it in the next couple of days, over a few days. I don't really want to put like a 2-hour stream or something like that unabridged on there. All right. I think they may have just driven me back on one of those hexes. I think they drove us back. Well, if not, they very nearly drove this regiment back. Okay. Again, we're slowly working our way around the enemy. William Tecumseh. Charge! I would say we've turned their left. I think that's fair to say. We haven't routed them over there, but we definitely have turned them. It's kind of hard to know where to put your artillery as you try and advance south on this map because there's nothing. I mean,
No,
there's
sir.
no point in doing that. There you go, Wallace. Buell's forces have arrived. The first unit of Buell is in combat and driving rebel units in front of him. Okay. We only needed like one division from Buell, the way this is going. All right, folks, thanks for watching the part 3 of the Shiloh Let's Play or live stream from Civil War Generals 2. There's about 30 minutes left in the stream that I will cover in a later video. I will put that up on its own. It may be more of a historical discussion around the Battle of Shiloh. It may not. I'm thinking about maybe doing an American Civil War II by Ajod stream, which would look more at the actual history of the war as opposed to what we've done so far in this series, and that way I could kind of play a game from scratch while talking about the Civil War and kind of narrating through the history. So that's something I'm thinking about doing. Let me know if you guys think that would be interesting. But in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the video here, and part 4 will be up probably in a few days. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, it's the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.